Again, I'd like to thank the anonymous sponsor who has dedicated this series of classes in honor of our campaign that we're having the next couple of days. I personally will be davening 40 days to Koso. Forever contributes $85 per month, $1,020 over the course of a year. If that interests you and you're able to help us out, please write to me at dytravis613@gmail.com. We're speaking about the complete breakdown of society before Moshiach. We've given a couple of signs of the times. I want to tell you now a story that happened to me yesterday. I was speaking to two people who I'm very close to, Talmidim of mine, a couple actually, and it's a couple that I've done incredibly serious nefesh for over the past years. Many, many things in their family, in their personal lives, and themselves, and a very, very wonderful, wonderful couple. But we are now in the time of Chavli Moshiach, and that means that things are not functioning as normal. We're experiencing societal breakdown, which means even people who are good are being put to the test. The Vilna Gaon writes on the Gemara in Brachos, I believe it's Vavam and Beis. The Gemara says, Agra the Kala Duchaka. The reward of the Kala, which is the shear that was given before the regel, is the Duchaka, is for the pressure. Yeah, it means that there were so many people this year, many of them didn't understand it, there was a lot of pressure. Says the Vilna Gaon, another shot. The Kala is referring to Bias and Mashiach. And before Mashiach comes, there will be duchaka, there will be tremendous pressure. There will be lachatz, there will be psychological pressure. I've gotten so many letters in the past few days from the classes I gave about psychological disorders, people giving over to me their personal issues, which makes me cry, and I really wish that they all have a refuah shlema. But they should all know this is a sign of the times. This is not happening because of X, Y, Z. It's not because of societal norms. It's not because of the breakdown of the ozone or whatever other ridiculous theories might be coming into play. It's because as we get closer and closer to Mashiach, there will be more and more pressure. This is what the Vilna Gaon reveals. Just as a caveat, the Vilna Gaon in the Sefer Sifrit the Snusa, which I just socha to Messiah with one of the big hidden Mekubalim in Yerushalayim. So he says there right at the end, he says, I'm revealing the date of Mashiach, but only to the people who can figure it out. And like Chavusi, who's a very big Mekubal, was not able to figure it out. So I don't personally know, but the Vilna Gaon knew when it was. And the thing is like this. The thing is that we get closer and closer to the Gula, there'll be more and more pressure. And this couple, who I've done so much for, they were basically tearing me to pieces, criticizing me and tearing me apart. Now, I'll be the first one to admit I have many flaws, and if you don't believe me, you can ask my wife, my wonderful wife, who puts up with me. And we all have flaws. This is why the reason that we're in this world. If we were perfect, we could just go straight up to Shemayim and end the story. But we all have flaws. We all have many, many flaws. And whenever you're in a close relationship with somebody, those flaws will become, what's the right word I'm looking for? Surface. They'll surface because that's the way life goes. We have to accept other people's flaws. And if you go through your life saying, as the Ramban writes in the Igris Ramban, which is worthwhile to read once a week, Ramban says so, and your tefillos will answer on the day that you read it. The Ramban says, if somebody's smarter or wealthier than you should respect them. If they're not, you should say, well, it was a gift for me and not for them. A person should accept other people's flaws. Again, we spoke about that before. You don't have to remain in an abusive relationship. Right? You have to see what you're going to do in such a situation. But flaws are flaws and people are people. And these two Talmidim of mine were literally destroying me, writing me like terrible letters, nasty comments, and criticizing me. Now, okay, I make mistakes. I'm not perfect, but I was really, really trying very hard, to like roll with the punches, And after much introspection, I said, you know what? Let's just take a break, a timeout, and that really helped things a lot. People should know, right? When things get heated, and sometimes when you get a heated email or comment, and you comment back, and you comment back, and you get so let's just take a break, and that really helped a lot. Yeah, but what's going on there? Yeah, and these people are significantly younger than me, right? What's going on there is already brought in the Mishnah, right? The Mishnah, Brisa, says at the end of Sota that Narim Panei Zekanim Yalbinu. Now look, these people weren't so young and I'm not so old, right? But there once was a time, and I actually mentioned that in the course of the conversation. I said, listen, you told me I'm your Rebbe Muvak, and I've done so much for you and your family, this, it didn't matter. Like, I was just a piece of dirt at the time. But they'll be malbin them, right? They'll say things, which Chazal tell us, which will whiten their face. When you whiten someone's face, literally the dam is leaving it, and it's considered avak ritzifa. It's considered like you killed them. It's quite a thing. And the Mishnah continues, Zekanim yamdu b'pnei katan. What does that mean? You get on a bus in Eretz Yisrael. I was on the bus the other day, and I was really, really tired. I was about to collapse. And Baruch Hashem, like some of these like 7, 8-year-old kids, like one of them finally decided, to get up for me. And I was thankful to him, but like it was a midas chasidus. Like, the idea of like standing up for somebody who's older than you and maybe like worn out. That's a big chiddush of midas chasidus, right? So Zekanim yamdu b'pnei katanim. The katanim are going to say, you stand up for us. And that's, on a figurative sense, it means that the honor is going to be demanded by the younger generation because they know how to use iPhones and smartphones, and they know how to do other things that the older generation might not know. Yeah, and they're more educated in the ways of the world, and they're more with it, right? And they're more connected to society and whatever else they might believe to be true. And again, the generation gap is very, very great. It's very hard to relate for a parent to relate to today's youth. I'm very thankful. Baruch Hashem, we made a wedding last week. Both of our children are married, and now it's a question of dealing with grandchildren, Baruch Hashem, which is a big simcha. Everybody knows that. But the point is that as we get closer and closer to Moshiach, there's going to be more societal breakdown, and the concept of kavod, of honor, of honoring your Rebbe, right, of honoring your parents, this is going to disappear. It's going to get less and less and less and disappear. It's going to be characterized by extremely rude, thoughtless, cruel behavior on the part of the young generation. And those of us who are in the older generation, we're not supposed to get upset with them because we have to realize it's a sign of the times, and it's a test for us not to have any hatred towards these individuals, right? Not to have. Again, we don't necessarily have to have a close relationship with them unless they're our children, which we'll speak about that. We have to understand that this is a sign of the times, and nothing we're going to do can change this. This is what has to happen before Moshiach comes. There has to be societal breakdown. How much does it have to break down before we come to the clear recognition that nothing is our hands and everything is Ein lanu lishan al b'nei Shemaim? When we come to this recognition, and as a result, we forgive everybody for anything they ever did to us because it was not in our power. Yeah, it's not contingent on them. Whatever was going to happen to us was going to happen to us anyway, as Rav Gershon always told me. Yeah, and therefore there's no reason to be upset with them at all. When we come to this level of recognition of God, then Moshiach will come at that very moment. As I mentioned on Tisha B'Av, had we listened to Rav Gershon, Moshiach would have been here. We can listen to him now. We left a legacy. And therefore, I urge everyone, please forgive anybody you're upset with, even if they're treating you like a piece of garbage. Forgive them. Again, you don't have to maintain a close relationship with them. Forgive them. Realize that this is the case. It's an interesting thing. I was learning the Sefer Lukuti Maran, Torah Vav, which is about getting bizyonos. One person told me, Moti Shabbos said, Rabbi Travis, I like your shiring, but the best one is when you quote Rav Tzvika Shulevsky, bizyonos are great! Bizyonos are great! I said, bizyonos are amazing. So, there in Lukuti Maran, in Torah Vav, I have it here. So one of my friends put out a whole sefer on it, but whatever. So he says there that for tshuva you have to have bizyonos, right? Oh, here it is. On this wonderful kuntras derech tshuva, beer the Torah Vav Lukuti Maran. Everybody should learn it. So he says there that you need to have bizyonos for proper tshuva, and the question is, so when we get bizyonos, right? So what should we do? He says Rav Nachman, it's just be completely quiet, and if you do that, then you destroy your Yetzer Hara, right? It turns the dam into dom. By being quiet, you're turning the Yetzer Hara, which is dam in the left side of the heart, the dome. It empties the blood from the left chamber of your heart, and then that's how you destroy the Yetzer Hara. And that's what David HaMelech said, Libi chal b'kirbi. My heart has become hallowed, because you're removing the dam, the blood from the left side of your heart. The dangerous blood there is the Yetzer Hara. In any event, we'll conclude with this. Yeah. And again, I thank the anonymous sponsor of this shir, Shishai Bracha and Hatzlacha. And I also just urge everyone, if you would like me to daven for you for 40 days of the Kosel, with passion, if you tell me what the opinion is, for $85 a month, over 12 months, $1,020. And write to me at dytravis613@gmail.com, and I will gladly take this endeavor, and you will sponsor an Avreich in our kolel, be at Sarkis Woolen for a month for an Avreich in our kolel to train postman for Klal Yisrael. And the Psak Halacha, the Bra says, is critical before Moshiach comes, because that gives boundaries. There's going to be a complete breakdown of boundaries, and we'll speak about this more. Bezrat Hashem, Amen, Cain, T.A.